All right, let's just jump right in. For years, we've all been focused on SEO, right? But believe me, the entire game is changing as we speak. Today, we're going to talk about what's next: Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. This is the new frontier for anyone, and I mean anyone, who wants to be found online.
But first, just think about this for a second. How do you find information now? A couple of years ago, you type a few keywords into a search bar and hope for the best. But today, I bet you're just asking a full question, like you're talking to an actual person. That one little shift? Well, it's at the heart of everything we're about to cover.
Exactly. The whole idea of just searching is kind of becoming obsolete. With incredible tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google's Gemini, we're not just typing queries. We're in a full-blown conversation. We ask, they answer, we ask a follow-up. It's a back and forth. And that completely changes the rules for how our content needs to show up and be discovered.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the search revolution that's happening right now. Then we'll nail down exactly what GEO is. We'll put it head-to-head with traditional SEO, uncover the real advantages, and finally, I'll give you a practical blueprint to actually put it to work.
You see, as these search engines get smarter, more like a human brain, our strategies have to evolve too. Sticking only to the old keyword methods, it's like bringing a flip phone to a smartphone convention. Sure, it still makes calls, but you are missing out on, well, everything.
So, if the old map is out of date, what does the new one look like? This is where Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, steps onto the scene. It is the strategy designed for this new AI-driven conversational world.
Okay, let's break this down. The most important thing to get is that GEO isn't about throwing out everything we know about SEO. Not at all. It's about building on top of it. It's the practice of blending those tried-and-true SEO techniques with AI and machine learning, all to make your content super visible and valuable to these new generative engines.
So let's really get into it. Let's put them side by side to see just how different this approach is. We're not talking about a little tweak here. This is a fundamental shift in how we think about strategy.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got traditional SEO. It's all about keywords, backlinks, the technical health of your site, all still super important but very structured. But AI Geo on the right, it thinks more like an AI. It's about semantic understanding, the meaning and context behind the words. And here's a huge one: multimedia optimization. This means the AI doesn't just read your text, it watches your videos, it looks at your images to understand the bigger picture. All that alt text, it's not just for accessibility anymore, it's for AI comprehension. And this right here, this is the heart of it. While old school SEO asks, what keyword did they use? Geo asks, what problem are they really trying to solve? It's all about optimizing for the intent, the why behind the words, so that an AI chooses your content because it's genuinely the most helpful answer out there. Okay, so this all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But why should you actually care? What's the payoff for adopting a geo strategy? Let's talk about why this really matters for your visibility and, your bottom line.
It really boils down to 4 huge advantages. First, you get enhanced visibility. You're not just ranking on a results page, you're becoming a citable source for AI answers. That leads to improved engagement because your content actually resonates with people's real questions. By thinking this way, you're totally future-proofing your strategy. And all of that comes together to bring in higher conversion rates because you're attracting people who have found exactly what they were looking for. It's a win-win-win.
And just to be clear, this isn't some fly-by-night trend. The core ideas of GEO, understanding intent, creating valuable stuff, structuring it correctly, are built on a solid foundation. We're talking about insights from over 2 decades of digital marketing evolution. It's experience meeting innovation, so you know the strategy is grounded in what actually works.
All right, so how do you actually do this stuff? Geo isn't just a vague concept. It's a real, actionable process. Let's walk through the blueprint for how you can implement a winning geo strategy. It breaks down into 4 pretty clear stages. First, you start with research and an audit, but you're looking at your content through this new AI lens. Then, you develop a custom strategy to align perfectly with these generative engines. Next up is implementation, optimizing everything from your text to your videos. And finally, you report and improve, constantly measuring your rankings within AI answers and fine-tuning your approach. When we get down to the actual doing, we focus on a 3-part attack. You can see from the chart that great content creation is the absolute biggest piece of the puzzle. That's the fuel for the AI. This is backed up by on-page AI optimization, which makes sure the AI can understand your content structure. And then you have multimedia development, your videos, your images, that enrich the whole experience, giving the AI even more signals that your content is the real deal. So, As we wrap this up, this is the one question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your website, your blog, your videos, and just ask yourself, is this content just a collection of facts and keywords, or is it truly ready to have a conversation with your next customer through an AI? Because that is the future of being found.